I
to
mean,
an Instagram
I
ad.
saw it and I immediately bought it.
Like you didn't question it. You didn't.
Nope. No, and it was like a small company that I never even heard of, and I was just like, it's a sweatshirt covered in butterflies. I have to own that, and it was a really great decision on my part. I will say it's like one of those that has like the fuzzy, which is really nice, but it's a little
Yeah.
bit too warm. So I
Yes.
turned the AC down.
There you go.
So okay, I didn't take the sweater off. I
No.
turned the AC down.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Solutions created because of problems we also created.
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
my family does often make fun of me because if you go in my closet, most of it is sweatshirts. Like I have an insane amount of sweatshirts. I love them. Even as a Floridian, like I always got to have a sweatshirt. So
That's so
I,
cozy, though.
that's my
I
thing.
I do that, but I have one sweater, like
No,
one,
no.
and it's fabulous.
It
I
depends
love it.
on how I'm feeling.
That's too like what would be the differing? What would be the deciding factor?
So if you guys see me wear that pink sweatshirt that says ambitious on it, that means I feel like a boss.
Oh,
So like I bought that, Grant, when you and Marissa took me from an intern to like an actual employee. I
oh
that
my
was like
gosh.
my I was like, I'm a boss now. I'm ambitious.
Yeah,
Sweatshirt. Yeah.
that's funny.
I can't believe this
That's
is how we're
funny.
starting off our huddle. It's great.
So our public build in the open Huggle, no one's watching at the moment, but if anyone does, and for legacy, we just show you what we're building in our company because I think y'all need better models of how you're doing huddles, and this is just ours. So let's start at the top, team. What do we got here? Wins and challenges.
Yeah, it's been a great
Amber.
week for production. I think our win as a whole is just our build and redesign process is so strong right now, and we don't have as many projects in builders and redesign as I want to be there right now,
Mm,
but the ones that are there are so great, and I'm really proud of the team for just like organization and communication, and especially in those big projects where I think things can often go off the rails pretty easily and quickly. um, I'm just really proud of how tight that process has gotten,
yeah.
and it just like has been super fun recently. Like I sent off a design phase to Superior Siteworks yesterday. That was so much fun to work on. I hope they like it.
Yeah.
um, and what else? There's some refreshes in the queue right now that I'm super pumped about. Treasury Rentals, and
Oh, really?
she's doing a brand refresh, and her everything Emily does is just stunning and like exquisite. And so I got
Huge
to look at
tastemaker.
yeah, I got to look at all the like brand elements and stuff that they just got, and I'm super excited to work on that. And then there's one more. Oh, the bloom refresh. I'm so excited to work on that, and I can't wait. I was like, can you get me photos like ASAP, because I want to get this moving. So
Yeah, man.
yeah.
And did we discuss deposit with them or no deposit?
No, so I have to send them like one final thing of like what we need
Mm.
from them. So I was gonna just let them know in there, but I couldn't find like what our standard. Like I was trying to look in the inbox, and I guess maybe I just wasn't sure what to search for specifically, but I couldn't find like what that threshold it was in the past. So I don't know if we just need to decide.
Yeah, we need to decide anew. It used to be anything over 4 hours, they were required to do a 50% deposit.
Okay, so
Um,
I think
but we haven't stuck to that at all, and so, but we do need to probably realign people to that.
I do think that's something that we need to definitely realize. Like maybe we send a MailChimp to start or something like that, just to let people know we'll start doing that. But I do think folks have been great about paying their invoices too. So that's been
Very
awesome.
cool.
Yeah. So that was my
Wins.
wins. For challenges, I didn't really have one. I mean, I didn't get to really work on the resource library.
Ah,
But I still feel like we're moving forward, even
yeah,
though that didn't get worked on. So that's
yeah.
small challenge.
Small challenge.
Yeah.
And FYI, like I need a hard stop at 9:45. Even if you girls stay on, I
Sure.
will bail because I've got to get to this meeting. Wins challenges, wins this week. Sales, finally. That was kind of like, pulling teeth for a while. And I had to go through rounds and rounds of phone calls and voicemails and text messages and feeling out where someone was and then realizing I can't pitch them right now based on this conversation. And then, all that sort of thing. So that was tough, but like we had some stuff come through, which was great. Why did I say delivery? Oh, wins this week. Just affirming how much y'all delivered to clients this week was huge. I did. I don't have it up. I can't show you. Oh, I can. I can show you. We finally got the two things up. Number one, we got the Spark member access early bird ready to go. Like, we could market this now. The Spark branding up here looks good. The banner doesn't match our current branding. That's okay. We can update that as we go. Yeah. Some of these colors need to get updated. This being our preeminent product, our only product, I think this is just like version alpha. We need to get into like a version 1 in design. That's not my strength, but that's what we need to do. I did add the sparkles of our brand to the icon there. And then I came up with like a 3-tier thing: Spark member, Spark tribe, and Spark team. And there's tiers, layers to the game. We can get into some of that later. Not relevant right now. So we did get this done. And then somewhere in here, I won't pull it up. I won't waste everyone's time pulling it up. I also got, I decided on, Amber, to load the Marketing 3.0 as a course. And so it is in there as a Lifter LMS course. Okay. It's a single lesson course currently. I'm looking at it, realizing there's several places in the video where I tell them to pause and go do X, Y, and Z. That's an assignment. Why not actually have the course? And so version 2, not even for you, but for like in the middle of next quarter, it should take me like an afternoon to kind of export those videos separately instead of one 40-minute video, export them, and then just like put them in the course. And any of the girls could look, any of you guys, girls, could look at that and see how easy creating a course is in Lifter LMS. Cool. So I think that's a skill that everyone should have because it's such easy drag and drop knowledge.
Yeah.
And, for all we know, the coaching clients we have will be wanting their own courseware, whether it's Kajabi or Teachable or whatever. We should know a WordPress version very well that give them options. Hey, you can go to
play with it.
Yeah, play with it. So it's up. It's ready, Amber. It's
cool.
ready.
Yay!
It needs to be improved, and the design needs to be improved.
That's easy.
But it's version 1, and it's there, and so like it's ready.
How are you not screaming right now?
Because as soon as you hit a milestone, like the other like milestones unfold before you.
Sure.
And this week I've been pretty anxious actually about getting sales done, heading to Austin for permissionless, making sure I'm framed right for that, juggling money and investments and so, like I've got so much going on that this is the first time that I've consistently for like 2 weeks have just been able to say and admit I'm absolutely stressed. And my main focus is composure. Just because there's nothing wrong, there's a lot going on, and I'm managing a lot of personalities.
Yeah.
So like, hey, this is the news, and I got to deal with this, but personality moment. And so anyway, so I say all that to say that's how I'm not screaming up and down. But the one thought I had on the back, I'll cover that later. So my wins and challenges, those were the wins. And then the challenges was just sales. I mean, it literally, I think I was taking notes. It literally took like 45 different contact points, touch points, voicemails, follow-ups, emails for that one sale. And it's just
a lot.
It's the market we're in, right now for our industry. And we're evolving that too. So, and that's the other thing. Like I created a video and rolled out the Spark Lightning, which is, and sidebar at the gym, and Jessica, I got to get you this video, but I rolled it out on my own feed and it got actually some feedback. And then at the gym, I had someone go, hey, I don't know if you deal with this, but like someone just quoted me $3,000 for a website. Is that right? I said, it depends on what you get. They said it's a 1-pager. I get no edits. They work on my logo. I was like, our package is $500 for that. if what you're
Yeah.
saying, if I'm understanding
That's
what you're saying, and they're like, well, okay, cool. What about edits? And our other package is $2,600 or whatever. And they're like, man, let's talk. So Spark Lightning is relevant, and I'm testing that when I'm talking to people.
I like it. And
You
it's
know.
like entirely feasible is the thing. So I was like playing around with some of the Divi layouts this week. Just like I like to look at the different sections and stuff because I feel like I often use the same ones. I'm like, oh, I really like what I did on this one. I'm going to reuse it.
Yeah.
I try to look at the layouts for that reason.
Yeah.
And I'm just like thinking like we can build a website so fast.
We can. Yeah.
It's insane.
We're insanely good at it. And and shiny object syndrome aside, or really said better, us following our dream of a training community, that is a cruise ship that we will not turn. That is going. That will be us. But in the meantime, we have to remember we have a thriving business that I think has hit efficiency. When something has finally hit efficiency, that's when you go wide.
Yeah.
And so there is no reason that we, honestly, especially as we approach this market, I have no problem. And Jessica, maybe you saw my video. I think you did. But go rewatch it. And all of you girls should go rewatch it, because my pitch is this. We can do extraordinarily quality, high-end websites. But did you know that if speed and affordability is important to you, we can accommodate you? Ask for the Spark Lightning.
Yeah.
And that way, my fear always is we're going to be seen as the cheap option. In a recession, you don't freaking care. And we still get the subscription, which is our long-term win on our bookkeeping. That's a big win because that relationship has begun. So I have no qualms going, we're absolutely efficient. We tell them we're going to use layouts. We're probably going to use AI. You get no rounds of edits until after it's gone live, and we go to hourly. You can change everything.
Yeah.
And so
that's the thing is that I think we stand out in a way that we really do have something for any level of entrepreneurship. And it's our highest level of design is still, I think, cheaper than, and just better and more thought. Like so much thought goes into our websites. I don't know that people even realize, like, we use the brand guide elements that Grant built in the back end to help us like jumpstart their design. We have the links pages. Like there's so many things that we can do, but we really can meet people where they are and accommodate whatever need they have and grow it later. Like, and that's our motto too. Like, that's why we're getting these courses out there, even though it still has like the lime green from back in the day. We know that's not really our branding anymore. We've got a course that we can put out there. So
yeah,
I can't believe you're not like hopping up and down. I'm going to be hopping up and down for you because that's like, that means I can move the resource library forward further.
You could do it. Like when I see that, and this is the final thing I'll say on that, I think we actually need to have a Google form or a Gravity form embedded and say, sign up to get notifications and early bird pricing. And I think, Jessica, we need to go ham and pre-sell. I think we need to, and that's what I want to get absolutely freaking excited about, because I think there's so much fulfillment in what we could do with a training community. And the other thought I had is we can kind of roadmap cohorts, meaning, well, if we're doing once a month general service-based entrepreneur webinars, private to our members only, then why not every 2 weeks roll out the coaches cohort?
Oh, that's a really good point.
Because we could start hitting tons of industries, but we don't have a subject matter expert, an SME, on all of that. But between Jessica's coaching with Energy Code, she has some experience as an in-house coach. I have a vast amount of experience in different nuances, different aspects of MSPBA for coaches. And Jessica does too. We probably just need to talk and we could extract kind of her framework. So between us, when we launch the Spark training community, I think we could at the same time launch a cohort and maybe even upsell that by, whatever our price point is plus 25% is an add-on for the cohort, because you get access to the general webinar, but then you also get access to, because I don't just want community to be a one-way dialogue. Remember that.
Yeah.
Community is a two-way dialogue. And that's not with them to us. I want them to be making relationships
Do you
to each
know
other.
what other cohort we should have? A blue collar cohort. I was talking to my husband about this
I think so.
yesterday. I was like, do you know how many blue collar websites, like businesses I've built? Like I could name an industry I've built a website for that. I was like, isn't that cool? And he was like, I guess so. Like he didn't really know what to do with that information, but I was like, no, like that's like a niche. Like that's we
Like
do that
AC?
well.
AC?
AC, we have J&D Imperial Painting, which came from us from Samson. We have Superior Siteworks, and the other one in Dade City, Senflow Landworks. We have there was one more.
And here's the surprise as you're thinking about that. Those people actually have higher cash flows than other people's business models.
Well, and I feel like they don't know what to do. They don't know how to market. And I like working with Superior Siteworks, especially. They've been so like it's women owned, which I just thought was so cool. I was like, I'm putting a woman on that homepage.
Yeah.
You bet your bottom. Like, so I have really enjoyed working with those types of clients. AC
Yeah.
was great to work with. Sinflow was awesome to work with. Loved them. All of them. They're just kind, and I feel like they're always so appreciative because they don't get much from any other web company or marketing company that they've dealt with before. So,
Yeah.
Pest
Pest
Cartel.
cartel. And if we could get that cohort, it could be kind of webinar based, but really I think it should be almost Huddle based. How was y'all's week?
Yeah.
What did you learn in your industry? How are you adding AI into your business? Do you need to learn more about that? What tools can we be bringing to you? How was your bookkeeping? How was your revenue? How was sales? Did you turn down any leads? Can anyone else in the group use a lead you turned away? Like, I mean, I think there needs to be a community
Yeah.
and it doesn't need to be lecture based. I think it needs to be relationship based.
Julie Murata and Ryan Chris, like that, they would be in that group too. Like there's
Yeah.
so many of them. Like their industries are different, but I feel like the types of marketing they might do would be so similar that they would really benefit from talking and
That's good.
communing.
Communing. So that was a very elongated wins and challenges. Jessica, wins and challenges to you, my dear.
You look beautiful today, by the way.
Yes.
Well, thank you. You do. You look
The
really
high
cute.
ponytail.
The high
Love
pony
it.
is
Fabulous.
working.
And the earrings. Yeah.
So when last week, I just feel like expanding our reach with our marketing. We joined like a dozen.
Nailed it. You nailed it.
Yeah, and so I actually got in there and started posting yesterday and the day before to these Facebook groups in Florida that have, thousands upon thousands of members. I did get a little bit stuck. I feel like, and I was looking into this, doing some research, but there's some groups like the Bridge where I can't post. And so I feel like Facebook flagged me or something because I am joining too many groups in a short period of time.
You should be, if they approved your application, you should be able to post. There's often a delay. It's grayed out because the administrator has to make sure, we're a paying subscriber in order to promote there.
Oh.
So is that what you're seeing, or is it literally throwing an error?
There's like no box visible for me to add a post. Like all I'm seeing are discussions from other people. There's visibly no place for me to even communicate with an admin. Yeah.
Let's look at it offline together. Megan, did you have a thought there?
I was gonna say, is it a thing for some Facebook groups to where the administrator says that like certain people can't post?
Well, they do, admittedly, but the permission is if you're a paying member, which we are. We pay something like $199 or $99 a year for that group. And so Jessica, let's just maybe pull that up on screen at another time.
Sure.
Make sure I do that with you, or just show me what you're seeing.
Yeah.
In a screenshot in our chat or something, and I can follow up with it later.
Okay.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, and I don't really have a challenge besides that, so I guess I'm grateful.
Yeah, no, that's huge. Megan, wins and challenges.
Win challenges. Win this week, I got my hair cut. It is now a normal length of long and not, it was all the way past my waist.
It was so long.
The longest time, yeah. And I texted my hair person for the longest time. I was like, can we please get an appointment in? And we were just playing this horrible game of like tag. And we couldn't get a hold of each other for like 2 months. And then finally got my hair cut. So by the time I did that, I was like, it disgusts me. Take it off. And so this is the shortest I have had my hair in literally years.
Wow.
And
Does
I
it
just
feel
wanted
weird?
something, yes. I just wanted something really light and easy to take care of. And, Coco Chanel, a woman who cuts her hair, is about to change her life.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I
so
fully
I was
believe
like,
that.
you know what, we
Now I
need
need
a
a haircut.
change.
Now
We
I
need
need
to
a
make
haircut.
it easier and simpler, because that's what I need in my life. And then
Yes.
challenges, just being so stressed out, you guys. I am so struggling with stress management. Part of it's just like where my health is right now, and I've been taking lots and lots of supplements to try to manage it. But that's why I haven't been on Huddle in a minute, is because I've just been so stressed out and have so much going on. But I'm not behind in school, so
That's
that
good.
is also another win. And I am slowly getting it together. So the stress thing is hopefully gonna go away in the next month or so.
Yeah, man. Sometimes just saying it out loud alleviates little minutes. And sometimes people want to go on a scale of 1 to 10, their stress is at like a 9. They want to drop down to a 5, and the question is, well, how do you just drop down to an 8? And then from an 8, how do you
Right.
just drop down to a 7?
Yeah.
So good on you, man. I really empathize with that, because as I admitted, I'm having some of my highest stress moments where I can't picture anything out of composure in the moment. And then when I'm doing good, I can think out like 3 or 4 hours and visualize that. But I feel you. I'm kind of, my pressure points are being hit too. So
Yeah, I was joking when I was in the salon. I was like, I've got all this stuff going on, and something's got to give. And I was like, right now is my mental health, and I was like, we gotta stop that.
yeah.
So if there's no give, that'll be the thing that gives.
Yeah, man. Something's got to give. All right, wins challenges. Okay, where are we at? Big rocks. Just look round robin. What do we got?
Resource library.
I just wrote improve the courses and sell or cancel the event. I'm just at that point, like bandwidth wise, and we're already like 3 weeks away. Aside from the 3-week webinar that we sold 2 seats for, I'm open to conversation down in 1% and what's ups on that. But so improve the courses, sell our events, or make the hard decision of going, you know what? Let's cancel these because I dragged my ass. That's my big rocks. Jessica.
You just totally floored me with that. I'm just like, okay, no marketing that one for a little bit.
Well, just for a minute. We'll
Yeah.
just wait till the end of the huddle.
Just let
Jessica
me
gets her
know.
memos live.
Yeah, literally. Okay,
Building
so
in the open. Yeah.
I'm just marketing events.
Yep.
Literally.
Yeah. Well, and that in principle is always true, right?
Yeah.
Like so.
Yeah.
Well, and that was your big rock that we set at the turn of the course. So yeah, just hold on to that. That's good. Megan, big rocks for you.
University seminars, still haven't contacted them, still need to do it. Grant, I'm still slacking off. But that's my big one. And the manuscript for the ebook. So those are 2 things I'm working on.
Beautiful.
But I'm feeling confident that I can work on both of those things this week. And I did some edits this morning. So
Very cool. Very cool.
yeah.
1%ers, what do we got?
I don't know if we captured this in 1%ers last week or not, so apologies if I'm repeating it, but I just wanted to capture content for a year being part of the build and redesign process at the end, just to make sure we're always serving. And if we're not able to serve people for content for a year, at least pointing them to the content bot so that they can help themselves with content for a year. I'm just like really realizing that in terms of like SEO and stuff, people just don't do the upkeep that it takes. And
Correct.
I think, anything we can do to help in that department is always good. So that was mine.
Let me speak it out loud. I think Jessica added a status
Oh, I was just writing that in my 1%. Yeah.
No, I think you already did. She wrote a status called "Content for a Year," and
Oh no, that's not what I did.
that's
I
not what
did
you
that.
did.
I
You
did
did
that.
that. Well, and FYI, I utilized it when I called Carl Laswell because I was like, in my sales cycle earlier this week, yesterday or whatever, pacing around Catapult and blowing up my phone, and I used that status. So I think we did capture it, and I think it has its status right there. So I think props to us. I think we could 1% what stage of the process, but I like it fine how it is right now.
Yeah, it's kind of messy still at the end. Like we're gonna have to talk about like when to close that out and like when to get rid of the project and stuff like that. But it's such a small like cog in the system that I'm not too worried about it. I'm just glad to be able to make that offering at a time where it makes sense.
Yeah. And I'm even wondering if we need to call it content for a year. I don't know if it sounds like, oh, I'm getting a lot of value, like at Costco, but I don't know if it actually speaks to a pain exactly. So we'll watch it, but I don't think we have to do anything more than what we've done so far because we've only pitched it once and maybe twice, and we don't even know, we don't have enough feedback loop
That's fair.
to work on it yet.
Yeah.
So I say we just continue as is.
Yeah.
On that. What else?
That's it. That's all I have for 1%.
And these are all call outs on me owning this and wearing this. Starting earlier on IRL events, hands down, I think I need at least 6 weeks where I have no excuses but to sell. And that also that goes to you as well, Jessica. You've got 6 weeks of marketing to pitch and for us to refine a pitch. And along with that, I think we need to add drop dead dates. If this thing is not shaped by this date, everyone knows we're not going to. Our number one thing is not to stress. I don't mind us really pushing ourselves to be better, to do better, to launch Spark training and State of the Spark, to grow Spark sites. I don't mind us pushing ourselves. But what I won't do is cram and rush and be crazy. I don't mind working 10-hour days, 15-hour days, and just going, but I'm not going to like get frenetic. So I don't know what that drop dead date is. I'm open to input on that, but that reflects on my statement earlier of, we've already sold some seats to the AI thing, so we're not canceling that one. Go ahead, Amber. Go ahead.
I think we need to cancel the IRL event. I hear you. It's not shaped. It's not.
I agree.
I think the AI thing is, I feel stronger about that personally. And I think we're trying to do a little too much. And we're feeling that. So I think we need to pull back just a little bit.
And have we even booked Ernie?
No.
I haven't booked the room. We haven't booked Ernie. So let's let this psychological disintegration turn into a system.
Yes.
And so let's make these things I just listed. Well, these are pain points. There's no reason I don't have this done October 15th. I do think unsales is a pain.
Yes, I do think we need to do that. I just think we don't have the bandwidth to do both of these. And I feel like if we have to choose one, I feel stronger about the webinar personally. You guys, if you feel differently, shout it out.
Yeah, speak up, please. If we're just like panicking because of whatever,
don't let me like steamroll the decisions because I will lead us.
Yeah.
If nobody else does. So, I feel really good about the webinar, and I also I want to do the IRL events, and I do think they're important, and I do want to make that system, but I feel like the webinar is the 1% of like kicking off our training community. It's the shortest lift with the biggest impact. And I think for the IRL event to really kick ass, we know from the last time, we have to put in more than what we gave last time. And we haven't. So, and that's okay. That's all right. I think you're right to call out like this drop dead date. Like, also, that's a great name.
Well, it's a military. It's like it's a military name, like when a spec ops team is in the field. And let's say Osama bin Laden, they're doing some crazy raid. They're going through the house. There's a drop dead moment that whether or not you have found in this example, Osama bin Laden, the drop dead date hits, everyone turns around and exits no matter what. because it's the only way to get back safely, to get everyone back safely before something goes wrong.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, so it's like a SEAL team, Green Beret team, sort of like drop dead date. Everyone drop it. Let's go. And two, let's ask this question. Jessica, we won't have Megan, I see your hand just a second. I'll get right to you. Jessica, we're always taking the egg on our face assessment. We haven't marketed unsales hard, have we?
That was my question. It hasn't been like super hard, but it has been peppered into our feeds. So my question is like, should I go back and kind of like remove those,
or maybe we just say it's being moved to next quarter? Like we still do it.
Yeah.
Don't drop it completely. Like let's just shape it and move it to next quarter.
How about this? And Megan, she raised her hand. She might have input on this. How about this? Tentatively, let's not make a big announcement, because we haven't made big announcements. So let's not make it a big deal. Let's assess how many posts. If they're stories, chances are they're gone 24 hours. If they're videos, let's look at our grid and Instagram and Facebook, and let's see. Actually, I want to know numerically how many posts and reels exist for unsales in both Instagram and Facebook. If it's NBD, or these groups you've posted in, I want to know that too. Like if you've posted on unsales in the groups, let me know. Let's look at that assessment, and then we'll decide the type of announcement we'll make. Whether it's, hey, apologies, we're going to have to move this to next quarter. Let's put it on the kibosh, keep you on the wait list. Or if it's like nothing, we'll just let it slide. We'll roll out our next posts about webinar. Now, I apologize. Megan, what was your thought?
So I can't believe I'm asking this now, but like, when are you guys doing the webinar? And is it like a live thing, or is it just in general? Because you guys do a lot of building without me. And I've just been listening to you guys talk about this for weeks now, having no idea what you're actually doing for it.
So I don't think we'll do this structure again, but we offer to do a 3-part webinar live once a week for 3 weeks in a row. Starts September 20th. Is that correct? Wednesday, September 20th at roughly 3:30.
Yeah, and then the following 2 weeks.
And then the exact following 2 weeks. So 20th, 27th, and then like October-ish,
Whatever.
5th,
And
4th.
for the sake of anybody who watches this who may not know, just the same as I don't know, it's like a live event, right? And
It's a live webinar. We'll be recording.
Are
It's
you
about
paying for tickets?
tickets are paid. There is an Eventbrite link, which we'll get you the link. We'll put the link in the show notes, or Jessica will probably put a post out today on it.
Okay.
But yes, it's. Go ahead.
I can send it to you, or you can go to our Facebook. I posted recently on it with a link.
And you can share that, but you can also just show up because you're Megan, right? Like you just do that too, you know.
Yeah, you are always invited to our things.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And this will
'Cause
be
I
a
once
Zoom
showed
link.
that,
Yeah, this will be a Zoom link. And it's going to focus, Megan, on the app we've been using, Make, and how the automations go there, but then also integrating with AI. So it's marketing automations and AI.
Okay.
Because I think, go ahead.
Last question. Is it like you can bring questions to the table, or is it like you're watching a training live?
Both. There'll be a moment to take questions. I'll probably open with, if you have any questions I need to consider going in, and at the end we'll have Q&A. But if you know your questions now, submit them by chat or text them in, and I will have a list so that I can call them out if I'm going to hit on any of them in the training. So it'll be blended. It'll be a Zoom link that we email out to everyone each week. Right now we've sold 2 seats, and that's that. So I think that's bold. I think it feels a little risky, but I think that feels good. So I appreciate everyone's input. Jessica, I didn't actually hear your opinion, though. I heard you responding, but I didn't hear your opinion.
That's true.
How do you feel about all that?
Yeah, I feel like maybe we just need to talk more about the process of putting together an in real life event, and then maybe if there's some things that we can delegate, because I haven't been stressed out about the event. I've just been waiting for
Same.
I know.
but you have. So if there's some things that you can delegate to us, then I
I
think
think
it
a
would.
clear process does make sense. You are right.
Yes.
What if you guys promoted the event at the webinar? Like used webinars as like a way to set up for the IRL events, and
Yeah.
then that's
Definitely.
just part of your process of getting there.
Yeah, and we already have the Eventbrite for unsale set up. We should probably 1% it. We should probably improve it and then announce it. But along those lines, Megan, this was my third 1%er. I want stronger IRL community reasons to meet up. Now, it is good that we do IRL. It does nurture a sense of community and participation. But I specifically wrote, man, I'm wondering if it need not be just training based. They need to have options. Hey, come to a training. But like, why not drinks? Quarterly drinks. Let's review. How did everyone, like even a soft huddle? But like really the purpose is we're here to get together. We want to introduce a few people. We'll make the rounds. Maybe here's drinks. Maybe here's some snack bites.
Yeah, I like that.
Maybe
Yeah, like-
go ahead.
What if you had like a Spark event at like the joinery or something? Like you could be like, hey, during this space of time, we're gonna have a table. Like come hang out, bring your questions. Like we're just gonna have drinks and hang out.
What if book club
like
was
it.
in person?
Yes,
Ooh.
Instead,
Megan.
instead of
I love
being,
book club.
I mean, because realistically, if we can get people in in our community to join book club, we probably in the beginning will only have a handful. So we could set up at Black and Brew or wherever, Hillcrest. There's a million coffee shops in Lakeland. But we could do like a morning thing, even
Yeah.
meet at
So-
Born and Bred or wherever, but
Yeah.
like maybe doing that in person.
Oh wait, Amber, you know how the runners have like their little sign that they put out and they're like the Lakeland Runners and everything,
Yes.
and they have their table every single Saturday morning.
Yes.
And that's their own little community. We could do the same thing with Spark and have our own little sign
Yes.
that we bring and put
Those
it out
people
and do
have been
coffee.
doing that for so long. Like that, the runners have been
Yeah.
doing that since like I think Black and Brew opened. Like it's been
way
happening.
before I ever got there.
Yeah, it was happening before I ever got there too. So it's like it's so funny that you say that because that's what I was picturing was like us at the crack of dawn with our books at Black and Brew. Because I'm a morning person now, which I hate about myself.
Which I hate about myself. That's
Way
funny.
too joyful. No, I'm just kidding. No, but that would be so cool to just be able to like sit around and have a cup of coffee and do book club.
Wait, like what if we did that? What if we did like 8 a.m. or something like that at Black and Brew or wherever we're going to do it, and then we could transition from book club into Huddle, and we could have like a hard stop for everybody goes home. But it could be like Grant said, like a soft huddle, but like that would definitely be building in the
Yeah.
open.
They could join our
Interesting.
huddle if they wanted.
Interesting. Well, so what we need to think through is my biggest desire for State of the Spark is that we grow outside of Lakeland dramatically. That doesn't preclude anything we've just said here. But through the lens of sustainable viability, maybe we love book club and we meet in person for book club periodically. I know Jessica might have challenges with that, with the way they're managing their homeschooling. 8 a.m. is kind of a funny hour for Amber too, but the nuances can get navigated, right? Like we can navigate nuances. I do see that there is something, even if we do this on a short run, just as an experiment, like let's say we loved Tribes and Megan proposed several books, Atomic Habits and Purple Cow. We should all throw our suggestions in and vote and get something good going. But I like this idea of like maybe a book club on a Thursday. We just show up at Brew or Pressed or something that we like.
Ooh, Pressed.
And if anyone else shows up for book club, kind of like Megan just kind of comes along, why doesn't anyone else go through book club with the Spark team? And you can bring your small business team and either listen in on our huddle or break away for your own huddle.
Ooh.
In the same coffee shop. Like, okay, everyone, high five. We appreciate you. It's time for everyone to run their huddles. We're going to run our Thursday huddle. You're welcome to listen in. But if you have a small team, we recommend you do your Thursday huddle.
Do you remember when we used to go out in the alley at Prest to get on the huddle with Kiana? Because me,
Yeah.
Grant, and Marissa were all together
Yeah.
every day, but Kiana had moved to Atlanta. And so we would like once a week we'd go to Preston, we'd work there, but we didn't want to take our huddle in the coffee shop because it's like quiet and cozy and people are reading and working. So we would just go out in the alley literally on Grant's phone. Grant would like prop his phone up and the three of us would squeeze together and just huddle with Kiana.
Yeah. Megan, I saw your hand raised.
I was just thinking that I love this idea because we're talking about doing the college seminars, and college students would love the idea that we have a book club and you can just come drink coffee and come and hang out. Or we go out, we get drinks, we do that kind of thing as like a way that they could like network. It's like baby networking.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
it's baby networking. Get exposed to local business owners.
Yeah.
Listen to how we structure stuff. I mean, Megan actually has the whole pitch. Why do you hover these people? Well, here's the improvement it's made in my life just being around.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if it's just an accountability point to get through material and be a part of the local Lakeland community. And I want to make sure, though, that we pay sensitive attention to, is this at any moment pulling away from a broader extra outside of Lakeland reach? And it doesn't sound like it. In fact, if anything, it's great social proof, especially if we're all capturing content from the thing. It's going to get us local sales. It's going to get us local fans. And that's great. That needs to happen. And I do think we need to grow where we're planted and not ignore Lakeland. But as soon as possible, we need to make sure, how do we parlay this? So I'm down. Let's promote this let's promote this into a 1%er somehow. And I think that this is a much lower lift with no price tag that I think would have a similar, if not broader, impact than what we hope an unsales event might.
Yeah, that's true.
Because unsales is now saying that our commerce is contingent on Lakelanders. But this is a marketing thing if we're capturing content, and it's a brand awareness thing, and we're going to be doing book study anyway.
Right.
And so it's kind of like a win-win-win. And if we capture content and then can use that content for our commerce, which should happen outside of Lakeland. Hey, what do you guys do? Well, we have the website company to launch entrepreneurs. We also have our training community to launch entrepreneurs. We just have those two sales pitches. We'll get local clients, but I think more importantly, those videos of us meeting with people and answering questions and, holding court, if you will, I think those play really well on social media.
Okay, so can I give you guys a challenge?
Challenge.
I want Grant and Jessica and I at least. Megan, I would love for you to do this, but I want us each to personally invite 2 people to join book club. Even if they don't accept it.
I can easily find 2 people.
Even if they don't accept it, that's fine. They don't. You don't have to. Like, it's not. You have to bring 2. It's not Lake Day, Jessica. Okay.
Oh shit!
It's not.
Oh my god!
It's not Lake Day. You get to come no matter what. No.
Yeah.
But I think just in terms of us each building our respective communities too. Like, we each kind of have our own thing. Jessica's got her side stuff and whatever. I think it'd be really special for us to think about, like, 2 people that you feel connected to within the Spark community and personally invite them to join book club.
I like that. And so we need to either schedule it or we need to say it could be fluid. Maybe it could start virtually. We restructure so Thursdays might start with book club, and then anyone that's hovering in the grid, we then parlay them, or we need to do it another day because we go live building in the open. I don't see any viewers this morning, and I don't know if this has an appeal for people. I don't mind doing it and just always being open to the public to come and go as they see fit, because I think there's an accountability on us. Yeah. That is like, anyone could pop in at any time and see what we're doing. So I want to make sure that whatever IRL book club we do does not, or intentionally interplays with Thursday, either disrupts it, but by intentionality, or preserves it by intentionality. So maybe let's just sit and debrief on that. Let's talk about that on the chat and just let people know what our final decision is. And yes, Amber, challenge accepted. I think all 4 of us could find 2 people who would attend at least once. And we need to pick a good book. If we're going for a broader audience, maybe Atomic Habits is good. And then we just make sure that the discussion always tilts towards how can you apply this to your entrepreneur journey and go from there. So I love that. And I feel much better about that than dropping the workshop that we have too. But I don't think we should drop it. I do think we should push it out and now give ourselves a full quarter because it's shaped now, and we just need to be wise about that. And I think that gives us more runway to hype it, maybe even get a better price.
Yeah, I feel like it just needs to be given the proper like attention, and then we'll feel better about it. And I think we know we haven't given it the proper attention, which is why we don't feel good about it. So
okay, 9:45, my drop dead date.
How do we end this without you?
Oh.
Oh no, she's still there. She just turned her screen on. She's there. She was just changing places. Well, let's do this. I can take a few more moments. Jessica, did you have 1%ers?
Yeah. I just created a status in our process for intro to support because there wasn't one, and because there wasn't one, I was missing that after the go live.
That's true.
Okay, that's very good. Ghosty tasks and making moves without
You
permission.
don't need to do that. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You don't need to send them that if they're already a client and they're just doing a refresh, because they already know. Just new clients.
Okay.
So I will only use that status if they're a new client.
Okay.
Sorry, Grant.
No, you're good. You're good. Megan, any 1%ers other than what we've covered?
Just working on the manuscript. I got another section. I feel really good about it. I feel very motivated to keep doing it.
Okay.
So
Thank
my
you. Very
1%er.
good. That'll be super fun. And we just, all three of us, me and Jessica really, need to continue to build our platforms. And Megan, you on the long play too. Amber, you were telling me that maybe you should feel more comfortable with your other job with Paul. Everyone should just always be building their platforms so that when Megan and I launch a book or an ebook, or the Spark team and I roll out our next Spark Freedom Frameworks or whatever material that we think is like evergreen, respectable stuff that we really take a lot of pride in, we deserve to have an audience to receive that. And I think to make that impact. Okay. I doubt there's parking lots. Raise your hand if there's parking lots. No. I do see training questions. What are we looking at here? Jessica, what's your training question?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to take this offline with Amber since you had to go, but we had someone reach out to us, and they're not a current client. I put this in your bucket, Grant, because I didn't know how to quote this, and things don't go to production until payment comes through for service.
Good moves.
So,
good moves all around.
But she really just needs help pointing her domain and getting her email reconnected. So she reached out again this morning in the inbox, and I just want to figure out what we're going to do moving forward.
Great question. Amber, did you have immediate thoughts?
So she doesn't need like hosting or anything like that, correct? It's just, she just needs help. I feel like we just quote her for the our rush rate, which is the non-member rate too, to help. I mean, it's probably just like an hour or two at most, I would think, if she just needs to point the domain and her email. I mean, the email thing, that could take longer.
Yeah,
depending on what the problem is.
So how would I handle this from a comms perspective? Mm-hmm. Everything Amber said is 100% accurate. But how do you get there? Mm-hmm. What I would say is, you've talked to them on the phone?
Yes.
Okay. You've talked to them twice on the phone?
Just once.
Okay. I'd call her back and say, it would absolutely be our honor and pleasure to serve you. That's what we do. We need logins. Get the logins ASAP. Because what's an emergency for us? And this is where Amber was going with the rush rate. Mm-hmm. What's an emergency? There was only one emergency for Spark sites, and that is your site is down. Mm-hmm. So give us your logins ASAP. And that shouldn't take Amber or I more than 20 minutes to figure out where their website is and where their domain is and what's going on. And we might have more questions from there. Then you let her know, hey, typically, this is an atypical thing for us, but we'll serve you, absolutely. Typically, we charge our clients half the market rate, $55 an hour. We'll give you a second, as we're assessing what's going on with your site. We'll assess if this is easy or hard. We'll let you know. Shouldn't take more than, like Amber said, shouldn't take more than an hour or so. If you remain not a client, we'll just charge you the market rate. If you decide to become a client because you like our support, we'll honor the member rate. But let us first hustle and try to get your site up and running. And then always let her know. And email is always kind of a big question mark. So let my team look at the email and we'll get you going. But we're going to treat you for the next 12 to 24 hours as if you're a client in terms of immediacy. Why?
Yes, but
Go ahead, Amber.
I want to be very careful because this deviates from both sales and production systems. This is not this is not how we normally would do this. We would not normally serve someone who's not hosted with us, right? So I don't want to start us having a lot of, if I doubt this will happen, but I don't want to start having a lot of confusion with these types of requests getting put into the production queue and getting confused. So if these types of one-offs happen, we just need to discuss it like we are now. That's my only call out because it does deviate from both processes.
So but there should also be a system for comms to know what to say, to frame them.
Correct.
And what I've told you and the notes you've been taking is to frame them so that if they bounce back and go, well, could you do this, this, and this as well? We're already framed to go, well, we've helped you with your emergency. Now we need to talk if you're going to be a client member or not. So we've basically done a tiny favor, logged in and looked around. And we've taken that opportunity to introduce them to who we are, how we work in our framing, so that we get them aligned the way Amber is saying. So that can be a system. But this is so rare. We haven't had this happen once, I don't think, since Jessica's even been with us.
Since I've been with you, I don't think I haven't dealt with any like non-client emergencies that I can think of off the top of my head.
Good
we
question.
can serve them. Like that's the whole reason we have a member rate versus market rate. We just use the market rate as our rush rate too, so it's a little confusing. But you're right, Jesse does need to like have like understanding of how to have this conversation with somebody when it's not as straightforward as a normal like sales thing would be.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even call it a rush rate because they don't have any,
No.
but that is what Amber is saying. It's just a standard market rate. There does need to be a task created. And Amber, even though what I'm not getting at is I'm not getting at us giving away free work.
Right.
I'm getting at us taking this small moment to get them in queue, show them that we're being urgent, so that we're treating them respectfully. Amber's going to be tracking her time. And now we're warming them up to, they'll get a invoice. It's just a matter of whether or not they get the member rate or they get the rush rate. That's just how it goes.
Yeah. And so do you think that she should ask like if she has like a budget or anything, or just not even ask that?
I wouldn't even ask that. If she framed what I just said she should frame, then we wouldn't need to know budget. They just need to know how long's your site been down. Like, do you know like how long the site's been down?
Has it ever been up? Like, did she build it?
Sorry.
It's okay.
She created her own site, but she's changing the name, and so that's why she needs help with the new domain.
So she
email.
probably bought a new. Yeah, the email thing could be complicated though if it's a new domain.
It could be,
but it doesn't mean it is.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it is. If she just bought a new domain name, it's pretty much, she probably just switched the domain. Probably take less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But how do we serve non-business site owners? Collect all the information you can, Jessica. If the site's down, we need to know why it's down and what's going on. If they're just adding a new domain and switching domains, we need to know that. And we can absolutely serve you. If it's urgent, give us your logins. Let us get access. It might take us, an afternoon to figure out what's going on. We'll let you know. And it's just a matter of if we charge you the member rate or the non-member rate. What's that? Well, let me get you the details so that my team can start working, and then I'll call you back and kind of tell you who we are and what we do while the team is making sure you're taken care of. Like, that's our biggest concern. Does that framing make sense? Are you muted?
Sorry, yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. I'm sorry. I just need clarification. So am I offering the rush rate and trying to get them to
You're not using the freight. No, get it out of your head. No rush rate.
But the
Market
same,
rate or member rate? Market rate or member rate? Which is $110 an hour versus 55 or whatever it's at, give or take.
60.
60. So 120 or 60.
okay,
Does that make sense?
it does.
Yeah,
You
so
are not
you're,
asking them, what do you want to pay? You're not
no,
asking that.
you're just letting them know that there's two options. One is to be a member with Spark, which means basically their website's hosted with us. And that is the member rate at 60 an hour. Or if they don't want to be a member, that's okay. Then we just charge them the market rate for any work that we do, and that's 120 an hour. So you're just letting her know that there will be an invoice for this. What the invoice hourly rate is just depends on if she's a member versus a non-member.
If you don't mind my 2 cents, I would say view it the same way that we did like the sales training where you like send the email with like, could you do that where you send the email with the rates and then they get to choose, or is it like too urgent for that?
No,
Or
you
you could do the
could,
equivalent
but
of
the
that.
vocalization, Jessica's kind of trying to figure out how to navigate a phone call and how to vocalize.
Yeah,
So
like word tracks.
yeah, word tracks. And yes, you could follow up with an email. But the basic framework, I would say in less than 3 minutes. This is a 3-minute phone call. Absolutely. We love serving non-clients. It lets you see how we work. Could you give me your logins? What are you trying to accomplish? How long has it been like this? Is it urgent? Okay, great. Let me get this information to my team and we'll look first and tell you what it takes. Just so you know, it'll either be based on whether you get the member rate or the market rate. And literally, if we recorded this, you could say this verbatim, Jessica, with the same tone. It could just matter of whether or not you get the market rate or whether or not you get the member rate. But you won't incur any cost until my team has at least looked.
That's perfect.
So we're going to look. And then Amber's still clocking her time. We'll roll that time in no matter what.
You're muted, babe.
She got to take care of her kids. They were yelling.
Oh, okay.
She was taking care of that. Okay, we can circle back on that. It's a great one though. Good training question. And then what's up? Anything big? Dog life? I need a hard stop.
You need to go. Yeah.
This was a meaty time. Anything I can be doing to support you, awesome ladies?
I'll follow up with Jessica after this.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, simple. And I think she was only getting stressed because the noise in the background. I think we got to keep that super simple. And I think, Amber, we know how that leads to us getting it realigned. But I want to make sure. I think Jessica sometimes overemphasizes caution on her calls with inflection. I want there to be customer service of, sure, let us take a look. It's just a matter of member rate or market rate. That's it, nothing but love. So let's do that. And then I'll follow up with you girls and let you know how Avanza goes. My goal is to either close out and get an invoice today or sell them on Ernie capturing content for them on a monthly basis because they've underperformed in that area.
That's a really great idea. I love that.
Okay.
I've been talking with them about the edits, and for some reason on is it Ronnie? And that's his name. He on the 2 of the pages, the header keeps disappearing. And so we've been going back and forth. There was a plugin conflict. And I tested it yesterday and I can see the images, but he still can't. I think it's just an issue with the staging site, but I have to manually move their edits over anyway.
Okay.
So the header thing is not really a problem.
Okay.
It won't be a problem on the live site. So if you could just say, hey, are there any other edits or can we manually move these and we'll deal with the featured image thing on the live site instead of going back and forth on the staging site. That doesn't matter anyway.
Super cool.
I'm just trying to get that cleared up and we keep going back and forth and he's like, I still can't see the images. I can't still see. And I'm like, well, it's really weird. Like,
no worries.
Anyway.
Okay. I'll put them at ease. I'll try not to talk much about it unless they've been stalling.
No.
And okay. All right. You girls are awesome. Deep breath. Even though we felt rushed there towards the end, it's all good. Megan, you need anything right now?
I'm good. I'm vibing.
I'm vibing. I dig it. All right, girls. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon. Have a great one.
Bye, guys.